what? He really liked me and now he's
He realized after meeting that the connection isn't there. If she pushes for reassurance or immediate validation despite that lack of chemistry, he chooses silence rather than an awkward confrontation.
I just got ghosted so hard that I genuinely Googled to see if there was an obituary for this man, this boy. I fear this is a canon event that I am just late to experiencing, but genuinely, how do I know that he didn't die? Granted, I didn't find the obituary, so I guess I just assume he disappeared after a couple months of talking. But I feel like death just makes more sense in this situation. I guess rest in peace? I don't know.
Many men have experienced strong emotional reactions when expressing disinterest. If he senses she won't handle rejection calmly, ghosting feels like the safest option.
Went on a really great first date, like maybe 3 weeks ago. We were like really excited about it. Huge success, great date. I just think it's really, really important that I tell everybody that he ghosted me about like a week ago. We were just like chatting, mid-convo. We never talked again. So this is just today's reminder that dudes ain't shit, dating ain't shit, being 29 and single ain't shit.
If she expects constant texting, reassurance, or emotional availability right after one date, it can feel overwhelming. He steps away to protect his mental space.
Why do men plan a date with you just to ghost you the day before? I was meant to go on a date on Friday. He fully ghosted me from Wednesday night onwards. It was a first date, so I didn't really care, but it's like, where's the decency? Just let me know. Then I was meant to go on a date tonight. I've been talking to this guy for a few weeks, like texting. It hasn't just been on Hinge, and he's been absolutely cricket since Saturday afternoon. So I guess we're not going on a date tonight. And again, I've never met this guy, so I don't really care, but like, where's the common decency? My rule is that if I don't hear from them the night before, then I just assume the date's off. And that rule has really fared well for me over this dating experience. Like a few weeks ago, I was talking to this guy. Again, we made it off the app, we were talking on Instagram, and we made like full plans for the next morning, like location, time, everything. Didn't hear from him the night before, so I was like, that's it, I'm not, like, of course it's going to be cancelled. Then he messages me 5 minutes after we were meant to meet and goes, oh, hey, sorry, I'm hungover. Let's organise something for this week. No. And thank God I didn't turn up to the date, because imagine if I was just sitting there waiting and then I get a message from him like 10 minutes after we're meant to meet, and then I'm just standing there looking like an idiot. So here's a tip for anyone new to dating. If you don't hear from them the night before, assume the date is off. Because this has happened to me maybe like 5 times or 4 times over the course of dating this year. And I have just assumed that the date's not on. And not once has the guy messaged me being like, hey, where are you? Like they've cancelled every single time or just fully ghosted me. Like a little bit of common decency goes a long way. It's a blessing in disguise that he's cancelled, because I have something on every single night this week except for Sunday night. Stoked to have a night back to myself, but God forbid I was a little bit excited for the date. Anyway, here's the makeup. Anyway, I'm gonna go and work hard at my corporate job so that I can earn more money than these silly men anyway.
He notices incompatible beliefs, expectations, or lifestyles. When she insists those differences don't matter or pressures him to continue, disengaging becomes easier.
I was ghosted about 2 months ago by a guy that I actually really liked. We were talking for just over a month. We went on like 3 dates, but like really long dates, sleepovers, stuff like that. And that was like the furthest I've gone with someone in a really long time. Like I'll get to 2 dates, but often like the 3-date thing like doesn't happen. So I was really excited that I hit 3 dates with this guy. And then he ghosted me, literally out of nowhere. I thought it was going so well. We had such good chemistry and everything. And he disappeared. And I'm still thinking about him 2 months later. So I'm gonna tell you everything I didn't like about him so that we can focus on that. Okay. I didn't like that he was younger than me. He was a couple years younger than me. I wish he was my age or older. I didn't like that he drove a shitty car. I didn't really care about cars, but we're just adding it to the list just to give more things to not like about him. I didn't like that he wasn't as affectionate as I wanted to. Like, we went on long walks. He didn't hold my hand. He didn't kiss me out of anywhere or like hug me out of nowhere. I didn't like that he wasn't forthcoming with compliments. He wouldn't say that he thinks I'm beautiful or that he really likes me. That was like our running joke. I would be like, well, do you like me? He would text me good morning every day, but he wouldn't say like, oh, I like you, or I think you're beautiful. And I would like be like, so do you like me? And he'd be like, no, I hate you. Like, ha ha ha. So that was our running joke. And I did not like that at all. One of my love languages is words of affirmation. So that did not work for me. He did text me good morning every day, but it would take him like 2 to 4 hours to respond to a text message, which is too long for me. I don't need someone to be texting me all day, every day, but I do need better communication than that. So I did not like his communication style. What else didn't I like? I also didn't like, although we never really had a chance to talk about it or to confirm it, we only had sex like 2 times. But I'm pretty sure he had a fake testicle. I'm pretty sure there was plastic in there. Like it was a plastic ball or something. I don't know, I didn't confirm, but in my years of experience, I think it was fake, which makes me think that maybe he's not fertile. And I want to have kids. So I'm leaning into the idea that he's not fertile, meaning he wouldn't have been a good husband and wouldn't be able to be a father. Those are my things I didn't like about him. So let's just focus on those things so I can feel less sad about the fact that he ghosted me and I actually really liked him. We're just gonna call him Fake Ball.
Men who have been blamed, shamed, or insulted by women for saying no often learn to avoid explaining themselves. Ghosting becomes a learned response, not a malicious one.
Dude, men will literally go on one date with you, ghost you, never talk to you again, but like continue watching your social media stories. For instance, there was this one guy that I'm pretty sure it was back in like 2018, okay? I went on this one Hinge date with. He was super cute. I like really vibe with him. I liked him a lot, but it was literally just one date, right? We went to this restaurant. We like kikied for a little bit. I went home and then, you know, the conversation kind of stalled and we never really talked again. And usually in those scenarios, if you like aren't really feeling someone or you weren't really clicking, like you usually kind of like unfollow each other on social media, or like maybe you might follow them for like a specific amount of time that feels appropriate, and then you're like, okay, I can kind of slide that unfollow button really quick, you know? But this man like never followed up, never tried to go on a second date, like never really texted me, but would continue to be like my first watched on my Instagram stories for like 4 years after that. And I even did something I don't usually do, which is I unfollowed him first because I was like, okay, well, if he's not going to talk to me, like I don't need to follow him. Like we have no interactions anymore. And this man continued following me and continued watching my stories for years after. And it was just one of those wild things where I'm like, hi, babe. Good to see you. You know, looks like you're having a great time. Why are you here? I just kind of sat there and I'm like, well, clearly like you enjoy like watching my life story. Like apparently I'm, you know, your new Apple TV subscription. Hey babe, $2.99 a month, send it my way. But I just remember like always seeing him pop up and I'm like, well, clearly like he still has some interest in me because he's actively watching my stories. He hasn't unfollowed or muted me yet, you know what I mean, to be cordial. He's always watching all my stuff, but like we never went on a date again and we never talked. And I always just remember sitting there and I'm like, did he think that I wasn't interested? But even if he thought I wasn't interested, like, why is he still watching me? Like, that will always be so funny to me. Like, this man will not return your calls or texts, but he will avidly watch your story like the new season of White Lotus. Crazy.
If she becomes emotionally invested too quickly or talks about plans after one date, he feels continuing contact would be misleading.
There is no worse feeling when you're talking to someone and you're excited about talking with them and you've been messaging them and then they go rogue, they go ghost, they go off the grid, you don't hear a thing and you're like, what the hell happened? And then you start telling yourself lies in your head and you're like, well, probably they're just really tired, or they have a lot going on in their life, or something happened in their family, or their pet ran away. Like, you just start telling yourself things to make you feel better, because you're like, how could they just stop responding to me? And then you know it's over, because you go on their social media, and the minute they post something, whether it's a photo, whether it's a story, you've lost them. They're gone forever. And your heart drops, and you're like, oh, they're choosing to ignore me. Great.
He realizes he's not ready to date seriously. If she expects him to fill emotional gaps or provide stability immediately, he may withdraw completely.
So I'm back with yet another horrific dating story time that basically just solidifies the level that men are nowadays, basically, in dating, in life, everything. So me and this guy, we were chatting on Hinge, I'd say for at least maybe like 2 weeks, something like that. Let's just call him Martin, just for reference. So Martin was about a couple of years younger than me. He lived quite a distance as well, so I was like, might as well like just see if there's anything there. We spoke for, I'd say maybe like a week and a half. You know, the chat was really good. It wasn't like outstanding, but it was like okay, you know, the level where I'm still kind of interested. And you know, he wasn't bad looking. Like, he was tall, you know, because I'm 5'7", so unfortunately I can't have a short king. So yeah, so I thought, oh, he's okay, you know, let's give him a shot. And let me tell you, so I'd say maybe, into about a week and a half of talking, he asked me on a date. And I'm like, okay, cool, we'll do this. We'll see where this goes. And yeah, so I walked down to the date. We're going to just have a bit of food and a drink. And so, yeah, I walked down to his date. He's there waiting. I'm like, cool, amazing, perfect. And we go in to where we were eating, and you know, the conversation is relatively good. Like, I'm carrying a lot of it. Like, he seemed really nervous, really shy, which is fine. Like, that's not a bad thing. But I'm like the opposite. I'm like super outgoing. So I'll just like talk over you, talk whatever. And yeah. So he generally seemed really interested in like hobbies, like all of that, like all about my friends and like what I do for work, etc. Which was really, really nice. You know, I felt like you actually generally had some sort of level of interest there. I didn't feel anything romantically really from the jump. You kind of know whether or not you have chemistry with someone, and it wasn't a vibe. I don't know, I just didn't feel it. But the first thing is when we actually got our food, he didn't offer to pay, which is a massive like ick for me, because I feel like society nowadays has let standards slip and think like, oh, you know, we should split or whatever. But I still think that it is kind of just out of respect really for the man to pay for the first date. You know, second, third, you know, obviously split or I'll pay or whatever, but the first, definitely. So that was already a red flag to me. So yeah, the date ended up being about 2 hours, which was quite short. And he was like, right, I need to drive home. I was like, cool. I just thought, well, I've had a good night anyway. Like, I don't think it's going to be romantic. Nothing was said. And then he messaged me when he got home to say, oh, I've just got home, had a really lovely evening with you. I was like, cool. And then he ghosts me. That is the catalyst of men and just online dating and how trash it is at the minute, honestly. Like, I wasn't romantically interested in this guy, but it was just like, what? Like, why say that you've had a lovely evening and it's not true? You know what I mean? So yeah. Oh, gotta love online dating. It's great.
Some women challenge or question a man's decision to step back. Rather than defend his boundaries repeatedly, he chooses silence.
Dating in the hellscape that is 2024 with dating apps, social media, people sending each other fire emojis to initiate plans and dates is this. You are getting ghosted by someone who is getting ghosted by someone that they like more than you. You are racking your brain trying to figure out why exactly you are getting ghosted by said person, and if you telling them that you like the color of the sky was the reason why they started ghosting you, and you checking obituaries to see if this person has died, when really, in reality, they are trying not to get ghosted by Jessica, who might be a little bit more attractive than you or have a little bit more Instagram followers than you. Like, this is what dating in today's day and age is. And I have decided, I have made a pact to myself that I am never going to ghost someone again. And as difficult as it is to have an honest conversation with someone that maybe you're not interested, it's not great timing, it's fizzled, you have to say something, because ghosting is no longer okay in 2024.
Controlling questions, negativity about past partners, or entitlement to his time can signal future issues. Ghosting can feel like self-protection rather than avoidance.
Men, why can't you communicate? It really is not that difficult. It's quite simple, actually. Why do guys think it is okay to leave you on red for 2 days, playing this like ping pong game back and forth, as and when they fucking feel like it, and then think they can just drop in with a, oh, hey, how are you? Oh, sorry, I've been really, really busy. Bitch, please. You've been busy. I've also been very busy, but I still find the time to message. Like, you're telling me you haven't been sat on the toilet having a shit with your phone? Like, come on, it's the 21st century. Everybody's on their phone at some point throughout the day. You're telling me my notification hasn't flagged up and you just thought, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to ignore her. Because you've had a choice there, my friend. You've had a choice to go, I'll pop that to the back. You chose not to reply. You've just left me there. And because your other options are now not available, you think you can go down the pecking line and now come to me. I do not think so. Just communicate. Like, if you are not feeling it, let me know. You know, like, it's really not that deep. Just all, I think, as women, I think I can vouch for many women out there, just communicate. Just communicate. It is really that simple. Like, if it was me, I'm quite a face-to-face person anyway. Like, I'm quite direct. So if I was, you know, not feeling it with a said person that I was, you know, dating, I would maybe meet up for a coffee, a nice little walk, just be like, look, you know, I'm really not vibing with this anymore. I think we should call it quits. You know, wish you best of luck. Whatever. Like, see how easy that is? It's so easy. But men don't seem to have the brain capacity to go, oh, do you know what? I'll just let her know. Just let her know that I'm not interested. Instead, they just ghost you, let you sit there and go psychotic and second guess absolutely everything. And then it makes it feel like it's your fault. You then feel guilty because you feel like you're the one that's done something wrong. You're the one that feels like, have you pushed them away in some sense? When in actual fact, you've done nothing. These men are just cowards because they can't be asked to communicate. Honestly, like, I just don't understand. I just don't understand.
When women dismiss subtle signals of disinterest or continue pushing for explanations, silence becomes the clearest boundary he can set. That's all for today. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to press the notification bell so you get the latest updates from our channel.